They're here.
The Tommy Boyds Show.
This must be where pies go when they die.
Compassion. Stand by, please.
There's no escaping here.
Tommy Boyds.
Hello and welcome. I trust you're well and have had a decent weekend. There's a little light left in the evening sky, but it's my great pleasure to go hand in hand with you through the darkness until 1 o'clock. My name's Tommy Boyd. I feature on Talk Radio between 3 and 5 weekday afternoons, but it's a privilege to be standing in this evening and bringing, I suppose, a sum of what I do, marrying it with what normally takes place here, and hopefully giving birth at some point during the ensuing 4 hours. The telephone number is free, of course. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I trust you're familiar with this radio station. My suspicion is that although people do stumble on us quite a lot, and often like us and stay, evidently, it's less likely to happen at 9 o'clock on a Sunday evening than at any other time. So perhaps it's fair to assume that you're reasonably familiar with the score. It's only me and you listening, unless you convert and become a caller. The number again is free call 0500 10 53 89. And I thought it would be a good idea to just mention some of the things that have caught my mind over the last couple or 3 days or so, one or two of which have featured, but in an unresolved way, on the weekday show. For example, we were discussing, I think on the Wednesday or the Thursday of last week, and we didn't really have a chance to get anywhere because the conversation was constantly being sidetracked by people with a whole panorama of protestations. We were discussing the best way to do away with the tortoise. This was on the back end of a conversation I'd had in my local open all hours shop. The man who rang that told me that he was off home at the end of a hard day's work. He had to fence off his pond because his tortoise, which was still alive, had fallen in and had spent 2 days at the bottom of the pond. And it led us to speculate on whether it's possible to do away with these beasts. Since legend and London Zoo has it that tortoises can live for over 200 years, maybe longer, because the one that has lived for nearly 200 years is still alive, and you can't drown them. I'm not saying that one would want to kill a tortoise, but they seem to be hardy folk, and if they're investigating the blood of anything to find out how we can put off the aging process, and worse than the aging process, the death process, maybe we should look at what it is that tortoises have that we don't. So we were wondering about the best way to kill a tortoise. Free call 0500 10 53 89. And a lot of people misunderstood and chose to believe that we were intending to assassinate a tortoise. Of course we aren't, although I would like to compare people's attitudes towards a casual, friendly, tongue-in-cheek, irrelevant conversation about a tortoise with all the stuff there was in the news over the last 10 days about what's the best way to kill a mink. I saw in one middle-of-the-road national newspaper a piece in which they were saying that a good way to kill a mink is with the flat of a shovel. I read it. Now so you can actually advise people on how to do away with a mink. That's fine, but if a chap on the radio starts talking about the longevity of tortoises, then that warrants complaint. But we enjoy complaint. Complaint is good. This country needs more, not less, adrenaline. Too many Britons are asleep. Free call 0500 10 53 89. So, if you want to help us conclude that conversation, is it possible to drown a tortoise? Do they have gills? Are they able to hibernate when they fall underwater? If so, one wonders for how long, because they hibernate in Blue Peter's wardrobe for 3 months. So it's interesting, that's all, period. We're not suggesting that anybody does anything terrible to a tortoise. Although one woman rang up and informed us that she'd seen a tortoise decapitated and the head lived for an hour. It must be true. I heard it on the radio. What else have we been discussing? I'm becoming increasingly impressed with the burgeoning information which travels on the internet. I'm almost a convert. I have to, in my line of work, necessarily make sure I know what as many people as possible are thinking and saying. And what I've stumbled on this weekend, I think is worth putting before you, and you may very well be interested in telling me what you think. What they're talking about in America at the moment is this: the possibility, and I stress, of course, it's only a possibility, that airline pilots worldwide are being pressed to join a society. Now, we know about the Masons, and we have heard about the rumoured one world bank, one world government. This is an entirely different sort of society. The story goes that airline pilots around the world are being encouraged, levered, to join a satanic sect, which, amongst other horrors, yes, advocates the sacrifice of the firstborn male, and leads us to an alternative theory, which might explain why it is that so few airline pilots have any sons to speak of, and they don't. It's what they call a well-known fact, that airline pilots seem to have lots of daughters and no sons. This is theory B. Theory A is almost equally astonishing, and it is that cabin pressure has some effect on the male genitalia. Free call 0500 1053 89. I've also gleaned from the internet that a new book out in Argentina, Garrote, El Madre de Brazo, has the author of that book, Zegmal Después, revealing a plot hatched in 1985 to kidnap and try for treason, crimes against the state, war crimes, Margaret Thatcher. Which will make an interesting film if they ever get round to it. Prunella Scales, I think, jumps to mind. Free call 0500 1053 89. And at some point later in the show, we're going to be talking about why hate is on the way back. Hate, they're saying, could well be the new rock and roll. Of course, there was a lot of hate in rock and roll, and now that rock and roll has gone away, there are very few ways in which people of all generations are able to express their natural anger and mortido. And speaking of Sigmund Freud, I was interested to be reminded at the weekend that Freud is famous for saying, but never writing down because he didn't want it attributed, saying, there is no point in trying analysis on anyone over 50. They're too set in their ways, and anyway, they'll be dead soon. Yeah. And yet, don't you see so many elderly people desperately seeking self-improvement when they reach retirement? Meditation, yoga, a meaningful hobby. And if there's anything in what Freud said, and so many people who know more than we do say Freud was fundamentally right, if there's anything in what Freud had to say, you might as well forget it. You're past learning anything. And time is of the essence. Free call 0500 1053 89 is the telephone number. My name is Tony Bond, and this is Talk Radio. There is a good argument for listening. Zach is our first caller, and he calls from North London. You're on Talk Radio. Zach, good afternoon.
Tommy, good evening.
Good morning.
Good evening. What are you waffling on about tortoises for? Who cares on how to kill a tortoise? They're excellent little pets for children and for anyone to walk around their garden and eat lettuce and eat whatever else they eat. Who cares? Who gives a toss on how to kill them?
Fluffy, lazy stuff there from Zach. Tortoises, of course, make appalling pets for children, usually purchased by elderly people. They offer no affection whatsoever and no interest whatsoever. You can't train them. You can't play with them. They offer no companionship whatsoever. All they offer a child, a tortoise, as a pet, is an early insight into the notion of death. But on the other hand, that's about the only good reason I can think of for having a pet at all, giving children some kind of early entree into their own mortality, other, of course, than Grandad dying.
I'll stop talking drizzle. Why do you want to buy? Why do you want to kill them?
You weren't paying attention, were you, Zach? We don't want to kill them.
Because they're not very good pets.
We're interested in finding out whether it's true that a tortoise, when it falls underwater, hibernates.
Yeah, but you've already said that this one that fell in the pond was alive. So,
that's right.
You're just answering your own question, really, aren't you?
Well, not if you've got any sort of a good brain, Zach, because one anecdote doesn't make an evidence.
I don't see the point in discussing on how to kill them. And anyway, I listen.
Well, one point might well be, Zach, that if it's possible for tortoises to live 200 years because of some aspect...
Are they edible? If you say they're edible, then I'd see half a point in your argument.
They are edible. Of course they're edible.
And
how old are you, Zach?
31.
Where have you been? What have you done? Don't you know that turtle soup is not just a delicacy, but the staple diet of South Sea Islanders?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So why don't we just ship all the tortoises off to there then?
Why don't you find out something before you think you're entitled to have an opinion on anything? Hopeless. Free call 0500 1053 89. Sorry about that. Into one's conscious, which can happen. The summer of 1998 is going to go down as one of the best, isn't it? And yet we've all moaned about it. We've all said, look, the leaves are beginning to brown and we haven't had a summer yet. Well, we have. Of course, we've had just the summer we needed. Free call 0500 10 53 89. So why don't we try the conversation from that point of view? And when I got on the train this evening to come to the studios, the woman in front of me was a real case in point. She was aged early 40s, and she was wearing a pair of turquoise shorts which flared out at the hip, wobbly hips, slightly wobbly hips, and a white blouse, and she had her long black hair, too long black hair, schoolgirl long black hair, which doesn't look too good on a woman in her early 40s, and a bandana on her head. And she was acting madcap, so she thought, i.e. pain. And I found myself asking this question to myself, and I wondered what your thought was on this. Why can't our biddies, British biddies, why can't they be more like the French? Because they get it right, don't they? They're elegant. The way their skirts swish, the way they can wear their heels without it affecting their gait. Good hairdos, not ostentatious hairdos, good cuts I'm talking about here. A good cut. And makeup, well, you wouldn't know it was there, and yet there's just enough of it there to have the right effect. And as for the fragrance, well, you know, enough said. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Dylan calls from North London. Dylan, you're on Talk Radio. Good evening.
How are you doing, Tommy?
Dylan, I've never been better. Thank you for the inquiry.
I'm glad for that.
And yourself?
What I've got to say is about the tortoises. I think the point is they've got a really slow metabolism. Another one of your callers hyphened on that if you cut one of their heads off, they actually stay alive, or they're conscious for an hour or so after. Yes. So I think the best way to dispose of them would be to freeze them very quickly and smash them into very small pieces. Thus, they wouldn't know anything about it.
Frozen to death. I wonder.
It's the metabolism thing, you see.
I'm only wondering about the matter of pain. You wouldn't want to cause anything any pain.
Of course.
Although apparently, according to Fleet Street, it's all right to cause mink pain.
I'm not scared of mink. I'd be glad to see a mink around my area. It's very built up. I'd...
Same here.
Yeah.
So aren't people bog standard? Tortoises, lovely. They're pets. Mink, oh no.
And to me, it'd be an experience.
They'll be off with your baby.
Oh, as if.
They'll kill magpies and starlings. Oh no, mink. Mink, no. Tortoises, yes. Tragic, isn't it?
It is tragic, definitely. I did actually witness a fox. I live in central London, and I did see a fox, actually, about 4 o'clock in the morning the other night. And I was well impressed.
Well impressed?
Yeah, well impressed. Another point, actually, about pilots.
Yes.
Apparently, 70% of all air disasters are due to pilot error. So maybe this is nature's way of not passing down the gene of the pilot gene, I suppose. I don't know.
Well, who knows, Dylan? Thank you. I'm very grateful for your call. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, but you've got to try everything, haven't you, once?
You've got to try everything once.
Apart from folk dancing.
I don't know. Line dancing.
And never. Incest. Well, it doesn't matter. Very interesting. Thank you for your call. Nikki's on the line from Harrogate. Vicky, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Hello, Tommy.
Nikki.
The weather in England has now helped me make a big decision in my life, and that's to move abroad.
Well, good riddance.
Oh, cheers.
Clear off.
Oh, cheers, thank you. But wouldn't you want to?
If I lived in Harrogate, yeah.
All right.
You can't get too far away from Harrogate, woman. What a dump.
You're not kidding, actually.
What a posy, stone-clad dump.
The outskirts are nicer. That's where I actually live.
Yeah, what, like Madeira? Where are you going, then?
I'm going to the south of France.
Good riddance.
Oh, cheers. It's lovely.
I hope it turns out like that book.
Which book?
A Year in
book.
Yeah. What are you going to do down there, then?
I'm going to set up a water skiing business.
You'll end up on the game, dear.
No.
You know you will.
Much more fun going on the beach and taking people's money.
You'll end up selling your body. You will. You'll end up a drunken old hag.
Oh, cheers. Thank you. At least I have a good suntan.
Yeah, and all over town.
I won't be wet because it's raining.
It's been a great summer, Nikki.
Oh, you've got to be kidding. I'm driving down the M11 at the moment, and it is absolutely foul.
Man, fantastic.
And it's been foul ever since I left.
Not foul. This country, you know, we talked about Neil Armstrong earlier on. He noted when his spaceship was passing over Europe how green and lush the British Isles looked compared to the rest of the world.
That's because we have so much flaming rain.
Yeah, you know you're going to die in the south of France.
Am I? Why?
Well, we're all going to die. No. You're going to die in the south of France because the Mediterranean temperatures...
It was lovely. I was there last week and it was 42 degrees.
But what about Malta? Don't you care about the people in Malta?
Why? What's wrong with Malta?
Well, they've had 50 dead through the heat wave.
Well, that's true.
You must catch up.
No, I mean, that's why I'm not going to Malta. I'm going to the south of France. It was 27 degrees in the sea. That's hotter than we get in this country during the summer.
I don't like hot sea.
Oh, it was lovely.
Hot sand.
Oh, it was wonderful.
So this is your escape, is it, Nikki?
This is my escape. I've been thinking about it for the last 4 years, and now this summer has just made my decision.
Well, you'll come crawling back, and when you do, give us a ring and we can gloat, okay?
I won't, but I will try and still listen to talk radio when I come back up to the north of France, because you can hear it.
I know you can. Thank you for your call.
You take care.
All right. I hate it when people tell me to take care, don't you? I mean, what do you think I'm going to do if you hadn't said take care? Well, what do you think I'm going to do? Go and wash my hands and fiddle with an electric socket? Oh, no, I shan't do that. Nikki said take care. Men don't say take care. Real men don't say take care. Just women say take care. A lazy expression of maternalism. Free call 0500 10. You take care now. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Obstreperous looks from the team. If you do say take care, Andrea, I never hear it. Sec. And he looked to me as though he knew where the pie stall was. That's all I'm saying. When I was 14, I was taken by the school on a holiday to France, which happens a lot now, more than it did then. And I spent every morning at a beachside bar where the madame allowed us boys to drink cognac with our coffee, which was great. But better than that, this little wooden beachside bar in France, with its paper red and white gingham tablecloths, was run by this madame. Well, she seemed to me to be a picture of the mature woman. She was probably a young 38. But boy, was she elegant, and boy, was it an experience just sitting there, trying not to make it obvious, although, of course, I now know she knew. But as she came past, so one would watch and inhale and hope and can I say as well, listen. One would listen, because there is a sound made by an elegant woman who has looked after herself and is well dressed as she goes past, and it is a swishing of certain materials and a rasping of silk on wool. And I found myself wondering when I was on the train today, looking at this vision struggling on at one of the airport stations, a 40-ish woman who really was trying to look 18, but hopeless. And I just found myself wondering why British biddies can't try and be a bit more like the French.
Now, I really rang up about tortoises.
I didn't ring up about tortoises.
I did.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I've got two.
Yeah.
And I love them, and they're lovely animals, though they're not as interesting as a dog or a cat, I know.
They're not as interesting as anything.
They are very interesting.
Name me a more boring animal than a tortoise.
They're not boring at all.
Name me a more boring animal than a tortoise. Name me a duller, less rewarding possession than a tortoise.
Well, I don't know, but I just like tortoises. I've had mine now for about 20 years.
I don't want to denigrate your hobby.
It's not my hobby.
We all need a passion.
Hobby. That is certainly not my hobby.
We all need a passion in life, and you have your tortoise.
No, that's not my passion, my tortoise. They're just two tortoises that I've got and have had them for 20 years.
Now this is my point.
Yeah.
Tortoises do seem to live for a long time.
Yes.
Even though they have no real reason to.
They do. Obviously, they have a reason to live. They want to live. They live for 200 years and over.
Quite, but what is their reason for living then?
Well, I've never spoke to them.
No, but they don't seem to procreate, do they? Otherwise you would have more than two tortoises.
They do, because mine have laid eggs. But the point is, I don't want to get a male in because the male tortoise is very aggressive.
How do you know that you haven't got a male?
I know I've got 2 females.
You don't know that.
I do.
How?
You keep telling me things I don't know.
That's because I'm an expert on lots of things, including sexing tortoises.
But you do not know about my 2 tortoises. They're both females.
How do you know that?
They've both had eggs.
Fine. Did you see Godzilla?
No.
The movie?
No.
Well, you must go and see Godzilla, and then you will know where I'm coming from with the business of the males laying the eggs.
Well, I
Okay.
know mine are 2 females, and I have had a male in, and he's been very aggressive, and almost ate one of the females' legs off. I've seen them making love. I've watched it. So I know I've got 2 females.
There, you see, I told you had a passion.
No,
It's tortoise. It's voyeurism of tortoises, isn't it?
Exactly. And you'd like it too if you saw it.
sit up there all night, don't you? With
No,
a,
it's in the garden. They're in the garden.
with
They're
your
in the
night
garden.
with your night sight on your binoculars,
No, they go to sleep
hoping
early.
to catch a peek of 2 tortoises at it.
No, they do it during the day, and it has to be very hot.
You're a bit sick, aren't you?
I'm not.
If you
I just
can't get-
wanted my tortoises' eggs to be fertile.
I'm sorry, but there must be better things to do than sit around waiting to see tortoises at it.
Well, they don't do it often. You only had it in for about
Well,
a
all the
week.
sadder of you hanging around to wait for it to happen.
Well, I
happen.
wasn't waiting. I was interested to see. Because
Right.
I'd had these for 20 years and I'd never had a male tortoise in.
And thank you for your call. Are you ugly? What's that like? Free call 0500 10 53 89. I think it must be fascinating. Much more interesting than being good-looking in a cute, if not cherubic, way, which is my lot in life. What's it like not to be looked at by women, or indeed not to be looked at by some men, either in an ogling way or in a rather envious way? Gosh, I wish I looked like him. I wish I was him, is the kind of glance that I am likely to get on the bus or on the train or in the pub or on the beach or in the nightclub or in the restaurant or anywhere really. So what's it like to be actually hideous? Free call 0500 10 53 89. And how hideous are you? I'm obviously not talking about anything that may have happened as a result of an accident, but I just wonder what it is that makes a person hideous, because I know some people whose features are quite even, whose noses are straight and neither big nor small, whose eyes are square and well-coloured, whose eyebrows aren't pointing in different directions and don't meet in the centre, who have hair, their own hair, and enough of it, whose teeth are even, and whose lips, though not bee-stung, are there where they should be, who have a jaw and a jawline, but they're not good-looking. No. Free call 0500 10 53 89. And then there are people who ought to be considered ugly, like Angelica Houston, for example, a case in point, but are absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. So, free call 0500 10 53 89. Are you ugly? What's that like? Sue calls from Essex. Sue, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Oh, Tommy.
Hello, Sue.
Yeah, you had a woman on earlier that was talking about English and French women, and she said that the English women don't dress properly.
She did.
Yeah, she did. Well, I totally disagree with that. Totally. I used to live in Australia, and they live in nothing but shorts and jeans and T-shirts.
Yes.
I've also been to America, and they basically do more or less the same. But you come to England, and we dress up.
No one would dispute that both the Australian and American woman is fundamentally a porker bursting out of her polyester, Sue. We're comparing the English woman with the French woman, and there I feel sure you have to agree, we come second. And we're lucky to come second.
I can't agree with that, because I just don't.
Well, I know you don't, because it's uncomfortable. You're one of these people who's lucky enough to have an opinion chosen for the fact that it's convenient, not because it's a fact. I'm not talking about you. You don't.
I do.
You haven't got a single tweed skirt.
Tweed? No.
Have you got a nice set of pearls?
Good God.
Eh?
I'm not going to just... no, I've got pearls. I haven't got tweed.
What colour is your hair today?
Mine?
Yes.
I'm 43 years old, right? I colour it at least once a month.
Exactly my point.
And I put makeup
You see,
on.
I knew that.
Well, so what? But how can we...
Have you got...
Where's the comparison?
Have you got a blouse that's made of a natural material?
Yes.
What?
Silk. I have.
Real silk?
And pure silk, I have.
Yeah.
And I'm not rich.
No.
But no.
What about stockings?
I don't wear stockings.
There you are.
Right.
Oh, God almighty.
Stockings are diabolical.
I might just as well...
down to the knee.
I might just as well have dug a pit, put some sharpened stakes in the bottom, covered it with twigs...
You're
and
making us sound like...
in the middle of it,
something
a large sandwich for bait.
No.
Yes.
I wear stockings from time to time. I used to. Not my age, no. I used to. Of course I used to. When I was in my 20s.
I'm talking about biddies, like you.
Yeah. Now I wear tights.
Yes, you're a biddy, an English biddy.
Oh,
You're an our biddies.
My daughter says that, and so do my grandchildren, but that's beside the point.
You're a biddy.
I still colour my hair, I still put makeup on.
Exactly,
and
too much.
I still think
You
I'm in
put
my
too much-
20s, I don't look my age.
Yeah. Sue, thank you very much indeed for, I think, proving my point. Case proven. And we should move on. Schweitzer, Einstein, Gandhi, Buddha, Jesus Christ. They're all pig ugly.
Well, I don't know about Jesus Christ so much. I think he was a fairly good-looking bloke for his age.
Ah, well, he's been given a service by the painters.
Ah, right.
You see, he wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
There's a book just coming out about him, what he was really like. And he was no oil painting.
I mean, I tried the doctors and everything. In fact, I was at the doctors this week.
I see. Do you know, it's how to sing It's Not Unusual?
It's not unusual.
No, wait. You do you?
Well, I know the lyrics a little bit, yeah.
All right, well, here you go then.
It's not unusual to be loved by any man. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. In my dreams, in my heart, they are true. I can't remember the lyrics now, but I'll stay in tune. It's not unusual. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, I think you better have.
I tell you what, mate.
Yes?
I'm a first-time caller.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I'm a first-time listener as well.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, you're a corker. You have the class between Chris Morris and Alan Partridge, and you're right up my street, and I think I'll listen in every night.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that, Bob, and you're quite right. I am, in fact, the best broadcaster that there has ever been, not just in this country, but anywhere in the world, apart from my hero, who was best known for his broadcasts some 50 years ago. But Rob is next, calling from...
Me, Oish.
Middlesex. Rob, you're on Talk Radio. Oish, yourself.
Hello, Tommy.
Rob, hello.
It's Rob here, and I am gorgeous. I'm 100% stud.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
Well, I'm better looking than you, pal.
You reckon, mate? Have you done catalogue modelling?
Darling.
Yeah.
Darling, that is the seedy end of the business, isn't it?
I know, but it's...
Isn't it?
It's the money, don't it? I prefer the money.
You do catalogue modelling, and you're always wearing something that is stone, or edelweiss, or charcoal, aren't you? Yeah?
Well, I mostly do it for the money. I'm trying to take advantage of my good looks.
Yes. Well, you're not good looking. Catalogue models are not good looking.
Have you seen me?
You're not good looking if you're in a catalogue, pal.
Yeah, but it's on my way up. I'm only 17, for God's sake.
You're ordinary.
I'm not ordinary, mate.
Ordinary.
Yeah, well...
Really good-looking people, right, would never get into a catalogue.
Nah, but it's a step up in the business, isn't it?
It isn't, though, pal. Not if you want to be really good-looking.
I am really good-looking. I don't want to be.
You're not really good-looking. You look like 100,000 other anodyne teenagers.
Yeah. I've seen you before, so
yes?
I don't think you can talk.
Well, there you are, then. I haven't seen you, have I? So who's the better-looking?
Me.
Well, but I don't know what you look like. You know what I look like. Why do you know what I look like?
Because I've seen you before.
Exactly. I'm highly telegenic.
Yeah.
Well, how come I've been on television more than anybody else, then? Ever?
Ever?
Ever.
In the whole world?
Yes.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's quite all right.
Okay.
You must be quite good, then.
Good looking?
No, yeah,
I'm good, but I'm good looking.
You're good looking?
Very good looking.
You must be good to get on TV, because there are plenty of ugly people on TV.
Who?
Mrs. Merton's ugly.
I don't agree.
I do.
Mrs. Merton is actually gorgeous.
Dame Edna.
Dame Edna is...
Dame Edna Neighbourhood Watch. You cannot tell me she is ugly. She is a nice-looking person.
I wouldn't say Dame Edna was ugly.
Well, she's not attractive.
What about Carol Smiley?
Carol Smiley? Carol Vorderman?
Terrible woman.
Carol Vorderman, I mean, she's all right, but she's...
No, she isn't. She's
not.
nobody's cup of tea.
It's nobody's cup of tea.
No.
She's clever, though.
Only men who couldn't really actually sort of,
You have to give the girl credit.
get
She's
it
clever.
on.
She's a member of Mensa, isn't she?
Yeah, I don't trust anybody who's a member of Mensa.
Yeah, but she's got an IQ of 165 or something.
No, well, I don't believe anybody when they tell you what their IQ is.
Why not?
But because it's something that people just make up.
But it's not, though.
It is, though.
It's a proven test.
Oh, it isn't, though.
It tells you what your IQ is.
No, it
Take the
doesn't.
test.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
What's your IQ then, Rob?
Mine's 145.
No, it isn't.
And I had a psychologist report when I was 14.
I'll bet you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I'll bet you did.
Psychologist report.
Yeah. Why was that then?
Because I suffer from mild learning disabilities, and my parents either thought it was because I was stupid or because I had a learning disability, and I had that test taken.
And what did it show?
It showed that I'd said I was generally lazy, but if I put my mind to it, I could do it. I was just unmotivated.
Right.
That's why I've left school now.
Right. So you're a lazy, ugly young man.
Excuse me, don't start abusing me. I've come on your radio to discuss a point, so don't start slagging me off.
Well, what point are you discussing there? You don't want to discuss a point, you just want to preen! You just want to strut! You just want to strut like some polyester peacock.
No, I didn't want to come on the radio to debate about this.
In stone.
I'd like to say that I'm not embarrassed to be seen with people that aren't as good looking as me.
Not that with the bloody strut.
Yeah, I would just like to point out that I would be seen with an ugly person. Looks don't matter, but it's nice to be good looking.
Is that your alter ego, or have you actually got a friend?
I have actually got many friends, mate.
Yes. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Bruce is on the line from Nottingham. Bruce, you're on Talk Radio. Hello.
Yes, hello, Tommy. Can I just say something before you go on?
Sure.
Do you know when I was born, my mum, the midwife slapped my mum and said to me, I am so ugly, it's unbelievable. I'm intelligent because I'm a nurse, right? But honestly, I am ugly. I dyed my hair blonde the other night so I could get a girl, but I went to a nightclub, I couldn't even pull a muscle. I am so damn ugly. It's a shame. If there was a society for ugliness, I would be the director.
And the other question this evening, do you have a good sense of humour?
I have, actually. Pretty good.
Right.
Pretty good. But I really should go out with a bin line on my head.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm not taking the pee. Don't get me wrong, but I am ugly. You know, but I'm happy. Get my meaning? Well, I try to be happy anyway. But if you had a face like mine, you wouldn't be happy. So,
Bruce, thank you for your call. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Sigmund Freud said, but he never wrote it down, he felt that it was too volatile to be attributed to him. But he is heard on a number of occasions to have said, there is no point in trying analysis on anyone over 50. They're too set in their ways, and anyway, they'll be dead soon. So one wonders why it is that so many elderly people in Britain are desperately seeking self-improvement and enlightenment. Forget it. You're not going to change. There might be nothing out there to find. Why don't you relax on the sun lounger instead of wearing out several pairs of shoes, looking for something that you probably won't recognise it, even if it jumps up and thumps you? Free call 0500 10 53 89. Simon calls from Northampton. You're on Talk Radio. Simon, hello.
Hello.
Simon.
Right, I'm phoning about this thing about the French people.
Yeah?
How can you possibly say French people are nice? They're awful. They're stonewashed jeans, their rucksacks over both shoulders, they're luminous trainers, and they're bad haircuts. They smell, and they can't shave. I don't think I know what a big razor is.
Simon, thank you for your call. Simon was alluding as much as anything else to the charming tendency, as alluded to in Home Alone, the movie, tendency for French women not to shave under their arms. I remember as a boy going off on a French school holiday, it was a topic of conversation on the coach down to Southampton, but I never was able then to establish whether it was true. So to this day, I don't know if it's true, and to this day, I don't know whether it's important or not. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I personally have no difficulty with underarm hair. I think it could possibly be a sign of naivete rather than innocence to be concerned about underarm hair. Perhaps because you're imagining yourself in your first romantic liaison, and on discovering that your partner has underarm hair, unshaved and untalked, and wondering what turn to take with the conversation at that point. Press on regardless would be my advice. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Is hate on the way back? Hate. Irrational, ill-deserved, undiluted hate. Felt hate. Not necessarily spoken hate, and of course not hate that is acted upon. But is it becoming acceptable to hate once again? We haven't really hated in this country since about 1989. And now that rock and roll, which was often, almost usually, about some form of hate, is clearly on the way out, if not dead and buried already, R.I.P., could it be that we still need some way of expressing one of the most natural urges that beats in the breast of man? We all know that our sense of libido is what gives us the ability to love and create. But it is absolutely normal to have a mortido as big as your libido. It is legitimate to hate. It is legitimate to wish evil on someone or something. Hate. Fantastic. Just keep it to yourself. And definitely don't do anything about it. Just enjoy it. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy Boyd and this is Maggie calling from Swindon. Maggie, you're on Talk Radio. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
What a load of rubbish. That we can't learn over 50.
No.
Aren't we student, teacher all our lives?
Too set in your ways once you've hit 50, dear.
Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
Is that it? What age are you?
I'm 52.
Exactly, so you're closing down, are you?
No.
Shutting up shop?
No.
Well, where's your argument?
Aren't we all student, teacher all our lives?
I'm not sure if I understand that argument.
There isn't an argument, it's just called life. That we learn, we teach and we learn our lives.
Give in, dear.
What do you mean, dig in?
Give in. Chuck in the towel.
What absolute rubbish.
You've hit 50. Just do a bit of freewheeling for a change.
So how old are you?
45.
Well, there you go. In 7 years' time, talk again. And then you'll be able to talk sense.
There you go. There you go. Come on, Maggie, you're not putting much together, are you, here?
It doesn't really matter. I am together, so there's no problem.
Oh, give me
life is about teaching and being a teacher and being humane enough.
Go on, teach us something then.
What?
Teach us something then.
Teach you something.
Go on, then. It's a bit of old Maggie wisdom.
It's being open to life experiences.
Yeah, like what?
And being able to be a learner as well. To be humble enough to be a learner as well.
What's a lot of wishy-washy, frayed at the edges, diluted, misty nonsense,
well,
Maggie?
that's your problem, not mine.
No, it's your problem.
And it isn't.
It is.
It's your problem. You just said it.
No, come on, give me an argument. Go on, you've got one last chance.
I don't need to.
Well, what did you ring up for then?
It's you stating that it's wishy-washy.
No, I didn't. Sigmund Freud did. Sigmund Freud said there's no point trying to analyse anyone over 50. Not me. You rang up for an argument with me.
I didn't ring up for an argument. I just thought that what you said was rubbish.
Yeah, you wanted it to be me rather than Sigmund Freud.
It doesn't make any difference to me. I'm just saying that anybody who isn't a student and teacher for the whole of their life is, well, they might just as well.
But why give yourself a job?
What do you mean, why give myself a job?
Why give yourself the job of self-improvement?
Life is self-improvement.
No, it isn't. It's only what you choose. You choose self-improvement. Why?
No. Life is if we live life to the fullest, we're always a teacher and a student.
Oh, God. See what I mean? Freud was right. Once you hit 50, really, the lights are starting to go dim, aren't they? A lot of them are starting to go out. Well, let them. Let your real self come through. Lazy, if that's your real self. Without ambition, if that's your real self. Don't feel as though because everybody's always telling you that now's a good time to get onto an open university course or to study Buddhism, just because that's what other people think you ought to be doing, finally getting round to spending some time on yourself, just because that's what everybody suggests you ought to do once you hit 50, and we're talking about 50 because that's the watershed age that Freud identified, that doesn't mean to say you have to do that. You be as selfish as you like. You've probably earned it. Rob calls now from Leicester.
I'm good.
Yes.
Right, hate, yes, more of it. Get rid of PC, let's have a war, let's start wiping each other out. Let's get back to the good old days.
Yes.
I mean, over 50s, let's start them off first. We'll get rid of them, make some more room on the planet. We can sit back and watch. Let's get the beast back into humanity.
Yes.
Let's slay, waste, maim, kill, disfigure. It's good old days. Here we come again. Give me the hatchet, I'll start on the first one. Get me wrinkly, I'll rip them to bits.
You like the idea, don't you?
Oh, yes. It'd be great. Let's have a bit of anarchy. Let's have some maiming.
Rob, thank you for your call. Anarchy, of course, does not involve an expression of wanton violence, merely the belief that you don't need a set of rules applied to you because you're not going to do any harm to anybody else. Anarchy, actually, it strikes me, is rather a fine philosophy bordering on a religion. Some years ago, was going out with a girl.
Yeah.
Very pretty, I thought.
I'll
tell you who she nearly married. She nearly married Sebastian Coe, but that's,
All right.
papers. Anyway, I've been going out with her for several weeks, and we always used to meet at the same nightclub. Get there quite early. There'd only be half a dozen people there. Her and a couple of her friends, and then I'd turn up, you see. Well, one night, for a joke, Amanda, because I'm quite good looking. In fact, pretty good looking, really.
Personality as well.
A lot of personality, it's true. Good sense of humour. Flat. Anyway, what I did was I disguised myself as somebody else, because my previous girlfriend had been a makeup artist, and she'd given me a lot of tips into how to disguise yourself.
Yeah.
So, for example, I wore a hideous shirt, and I wrapped some towels around myself to give myself a real gut. Okay?
Yeah.
Then I wore a wig, a bad one.
Yeah.
I wore false teeth. You've seen the ones you can get, like Harry Enfield wears them a lot, that sort of thing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Stuck cotton wool pouches into my jowls, okay? Wore a pair of very bad glasses, and this is an important trick. I cut the tip of 2 children's dummies. You know baby dummies?
Yeah.
And what you do is you push them up your nose.
Yeah.
And it flares your nostrils out.
Oh, God, it must have been really uncomfortable.
It was, but for the sake of a joke, it was worth it.
Yeah.
So I looked totally different. I looked hideous. And the reason I did this was because this girl had always told me that she wasn't interested in looks. She always looked for something deeper in a man. And I went and chatted her up.
And she didn't recognise you?
She gave me about 8 seconds. And then she fixed me with a stare. And she just went, "Bog off!" Like that.
Oh, really?
Yes. which was just what I wanted, because it proved my point.
Yeah.
That beauty is skin deep. And it's about all women are bothered about.
What? That
beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, yeah. But, I mean, do you think that is the most important thing then?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what about personality and sort of deeper things?
You don't need it if you're gorgeous.
Oh, right.
Just wear tight-fitting clothes and flutter your eyelashes. Do you know, Ian?
What?
I went out for dinner once with Madonna. And she was with her minder.
Was that Diego, or was it Madonna?
It was a woman.
Oh, it was a woman?
Do you know what I did?
What?
Because Madonna was, neither here nor there. I tried to get Madonna to call it a night, because I actually fancied the minder.
Is that right,
Yes. So what does that tell you either about my judgment or the nature of loveliness? This is Talk Radio. Good argument for listening.
Broadcasting the...
I'm Tommy Boyd, wearing the cloak of darkness and the crown of your attention. And happy to be here 9 evening until 1 in the morning, normally plying trade 3 to 5, Monday to Friday, bringing much of our wares to this special moment in the broadcasting week, but of course relying very heavily on your own intimate and welcome knowledge of what normally takes place. Free call 0500 10 53 89 is the number. Casey's our next caller, calling from Warwickshire. Casey, you're on Talk Radio. Hello.
Hello, Tommy.
Casey.
Hiya.
Hi.
Right, you're encouraging people over 50 to let themselves go. In the morning when she's got no makeup on. She is a right grump.
Yeah.
And the minute she goes upstairs and puts her makeup on and that and gets all ready for work, after she's ready, she's all right.
Sorry, is this a call about ugliness
Yeah.
or about self-improvement?
Well, it's a bit of both, really.
Is it?
Yeah.
When someone lets themselves go, Casey,
Yeah.
when you are let go, you achieve freedom. So I'm a great believer that at some point in people's lives, they should let themselves go. Like Elsa, the lioness.
Yeah.
Do you remember Born Free?
Yeah, I
Marvellous
do.
movie.
Yeah, I do.
I met her once, Virginia McKenna.
Yeah.
Great bones.
It's like for everybody to let themselves go at some point, isn't it? Not just when you're over 50.
No, but when people are over 50, we should let them go. And they should let themselves go.
Yeah.
Otherwise you spend your whole life hard at work, trying to improve yourself. And there comes a point in your life when you should say, right, that's it. Mary's next. She calls from Birmingham. Mary, you're on Talk Radio.
Afternoon, Tommy.
Good afternoon.
Have a look in the mirror and you'll see it's ugly.
I'm a good-looking boy.
No, you ain't.
Do you know I am?
You ain't. I am.
I've got an 8-foot mirror here in the studio, and this is the first studio I've ever worked in which had a decent mirror.
I've got a 20-foot mirror in my living room, and I look beautiful than you, and I think you're ugly.
Well, hold on. There are bound to be dissimilarities between, the criteria for your beauty and my beauty.
Exactly.
Because you're a girly-whirly.
Oh, well, how do you know that?
Because your name is Mary.
Oh, well.
And I know it's a 50-50, but I've called heads, and you are a girly, aren't you?
Well, I don't know. Am I? You tell me.
Yes, I think you're a girl.
And what do you classify as a girl?
Well, being called Mary is a good...
I don't know. Am I? You tell me.
Yes, I think you're a girl.
And what do you classify as a girl?
Well, being called Mary is a good starting point, isn't it?
Well, you can say I'm a virgin then.
I would imagine you are, yes.
I am.
Yes, I thought you were.
Oh.
Yes. I'm not.
Yeah, I know you ain't.
No, not by a long chalk.
I know.
No.
No, I ain't.
No. And the first time was the best, funnily enough. But I don't know if we want to talk about the first time. I had a fantastic first time. It was the most stunning first time. Nobody, I can honestly say this, not nobody, not Serge Gainsborough, the French bloke who claimed that he had made love to 20,000 women, not Rod Stewart, not Madonna, not nobody had a better first time than I did. I was very lucky. It was it happened. I couldn't have planned it, but if I'd planned it, I'd have planned it as it was. Since Mary brought it up. Free call 0500 10 53 89. That'd be cool. Aren't handcuffs fantastic? On a programme about 6 weeks ago on this show, we were discussing the contents of the average bedside cabinet. Why do we have bedside cabinets? You don't even actually need a light by the bed. There's no bedside lamp that's ever been made that was convenient. Convenient, but would be one that you could switch on in your slumbering state. But you can't. They make them with stupid, tiny, fiddly, useless little switches. Or else you get that switch on a piece of cord and you're never quite sure how to make it look part of your bed as it makes its way over the top of the headboard and then down behind your pillow. It looks ridiculous and you still can't find it when you need it in the middle of the night for whatever reason. So setting aside the nonsensicality of the bedside lamp, we then moved on to the complete ludicrousness of the bedside cabinet. You don't actually need anything beside your bed through the night. I need earplugs because my wife snores. There, I've said it. And I can give advice on that because I'm something of an expert. But apart from that, you don't need anything. Okay, contraceptives. You do need by the bed. You have to keep contraceptives by the bed and your earplugs. That's it. That's it. But we do have, all of us, it seems, at least one drawer, possibly two, possibly three drawers, maybe one drawer and a little cabinet, or at least an alcove, on top of which is a surface. And by Yiminy, do people have some stuff in their bedside cabinet? Have a look at your bedside cabinet. Have a look at what's in it. There will be some things in your bedside cabinet you haven't seen for 9 months. All sorts of oddments. Used that you forgot to dispose of thoughtfully.
Magazines. Travel brochures I'm talking about here. And accessories. And it was when the conversation turned to accessories that we started to talk handcuffs. And there's nothing wrong with that. Free call 0500 10 53 89. But where can you buy them? And how can you possibly ask for them in the Army Surplus store without getting a look? That's what I want to know. Free call 0500 10 53 89. And have you ever had to buy a riding crop for legitimate purposes, i.e. riding, and managed to persuade the person you're handing the cash over to that you really are equestrian? Free call 0500 10 53 89. There. That's a good turn in the conversation, and all from the word corrective. Have children, you have to have pyjamas, mate.
No, boxer shorts. Definitely boxer shorts.
Well, maybe you have your central heating on through the night.
Well, this time of year.
Sue is our next caller from Leicester. Sue, welcome to Talk Radio. Hello.
Hello, Tommy. It's so nice to hear you on a nighttime show instead.
You're kind.
Yes, because we can talk more adult. Right. Now, the French women, the clothing that they wear, the lingerie, is beautiful.
Mm.
It's so sexy.
Mm.
They don't believe in wearing jeans.
No.
Or anything like that.
Mm.
They are dressed classy.
Mm.
And everything like that. Same with a lot of Italian women that have still got their figures, if they've not had too much pasta.
Mm.
And also with your other problem, right, Tommy, you can get handcuffed, cat o' nine tails and everything wherever you are on the high street.
Surely
There
not.
is no problem.
Surely not. You can't get a cat of nine tails in any high street.
Honestly.
How can you get a cat of nine tails in Leicester High Street?
Yes, you can. Right. Your researchers have got my phone number. I can sort it out, no problem, if you really need it.
No, wait, we're not talking about...
You don't need that.
Excuse me.
But, no.
Excuse me. Excuse me, we're not talking about... Can we please put some distance between the idea that I am looking for a cat of nine tails
No,
and the truth?
I was talking about the handcuffs.
The listener.
I thought you fancied a pair of handcuffs.
One's listener.
I thought you fancied a pair of handcuffs.
The man in the phone booth.
Tommy, I thought you fancied being handcuffed.
Shackled to the bed.
Yes.
No.
No.
No, I am merely asking how it is that so many people have got handcuffs in the bedroom.
Oh,
right?
yes. Yes. And also, you're not in the 20th century because I've got a lamp here that you just touch it by its lampshade and it goes dim, light or bright. You don't have to touch no cord at all.
But what have you got in your bedside cabinet?
Everything but the kitchen sink.
Well, what have you got in your bedside cabinet? Not what haven't you got in your cabinet. Come on.
Quite a few things.
Come on, are you in bed at the moment?
Yes.
Splendid. Then lean to one side.
Right.
And pull open the drawer, and I want to know what's in there.
Right. Well, there's a few papers and everything. Then there's a few bits and pieces that just excite the parts that men can't reach or they do not know where they are.
What?
Tommy, you know what I mean.
An electrical sex aid.
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fine. Okay, now look, let's all be grown up about this.
Right.
Shall we? As long as we go on being embarrassed, and I confess I'm a bit embarrassed, but as long as we go on being a bit embarrassed or pretending we're embarrassed to make ourselves out to be better people, then we're just not going to get in touch with ourselves or each other, are we?
No.
And look, this is a radio. This is a 1:45 radio program.
Right.
Let's get it out in the open. What people have in their bedside cabinets.
Right.
And because if it's in your bedside cabinet, it's part of your life,
Yes.
and you're a dear and decent human being.
Right.
So let's, with strong voices, all right, but without increasing our pulse rate, let's talk about what you've got in your bedside cabinet. Okay, so you've got a vibrator. What else?
Vibrator. I've got chocolate licking cream.
Tub or tube?
A tub.
A tub of chocolate licking cream?
Yes.
Fantastic.
And also...
Milk or plain?
Milk.
Right.
Milk, no, I have got a little sachet of plain.
Does it go
But
off?
I do find
Yes.
that most gentlemen do not like plain.
What do you mean, most gentlemen?
They do just prefer to lick milk chocolate
Yeah.
off your body rather than plain chocolate.
Which part of you?
Well, wherever.
Well, wherever then.
Yeah. Right.
Where?
And then I've got
Yes.
different things. Of course, all the different condoms are there, ribbed, different colours, with added bits to it as well, because some gentlemen do need that.
You keep calling people gentlemen. Right. Gentlemen.
No, well, I could call them whatever, but
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to be so...
So how much? All right, yeah, I understand.
Disgusted.
You are. So how much then is the whole thing, including licking chocolate?
Right, that is 150.
Thanks for your call. Free call 0500 1053 89. Licking chocolate. Interesting. Now, men know where they would like licking chocolate to be applied, but if you're a woman, besides the obvious, a bottom would be a good place to start with licking chocolate. Free call 0500 1053 89. I knew it would gravitate to this. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening. Having a programme planning meeting before we came on air, and so I might as well bring you in on it. Since we are able to play, although we're not quite sure how strange it is that we are able to, but nevertheless, we are able to play the instrumental version of Tom Jones' It's Not Unusual, and since we are discussing the happier moments of being a human being, we were wondering if it is possible to couple and sing It's Not Unusual. Free call 0500 1053 89 if you're able to help us with that adventure. Kathy calls from Halesowen. Kathy, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Hello, Tom.
Kathy?
Now, why on earth do you want to know about handcuffs and things like that? You're well over the hill, Flower. You're not over the hill. You're 3/4 way down the other side.
Well, I could still... doesn't matter. Quite possibly, Kathy, but I'm interested in the human experience.
The human experience?
Yes.
So you're 45 years old and you've not had any experiences like that already?
Well, handcuffs?
Yeah?
Plenty, and silk rope.
So why do you need to know about it now?
Because I didn't go into the shop to buy them. She did.
She did?
Yeah, she did. I want to know what it's like.
So you're that uninventive, you have to send your wife to go and get all the little toys for your marriage?
A, she wasn't my wife, and therefore, who's uninventive?
And what's this about on your first date, having your toes licked?
That's neither here nor there. Have you ever been into a shop to buy a pair of handcuffs?
Yes.
What was the look you got?
Well, I don't give a damn, really. I just went in and got them.
Well, you have to notice things, otherwise you're of no use to a radio programme.
Yes, but if you're going to go in there and think, oh, people are going to look at me and stare, you wouldn't go in, would you? But I want to tell you about this licking chocolate.
You didn't notice the look, did you?
Well, yeah, they just look at you blank as if to say, you know, well, why is she buying them? You don't take any notice if you want them that bad.
You should take notice of everything. There's no point being a human being if you're not going to take notice. You might as well be a jellyfish.
You can take notice, but you don't have to accept every look that you get given to you, do you?
You can take notice, analyse it, and then pass it on to somebody else who, like me, has an inquiring mind.
No, I took them home and I analysed them with my husband when we got home.
Then what sort of conversations do you have, for goodness sake?
Fabulous.
Well, why don't you have one with me, then?
Why?
A fabulous conversation.
You just want an argument.
I want a fabulous
an argument.
On your bike, I want a...
You said earlier that, according to you, life is downhill when you're 50. Forget about it. Well, you're 45 years old now.
How old are you?
Me? Well, that's you shouldn't ask a woman that.
Well, I'm asking you.
All right, then. I'm 33.
Yes, so you say.
So, but that doesn't mean I'm over the hill, does it?
It doesn't mean you're 33 either.
Oh, it does. Now, let me just tell you about this chocolate.
Yeah.
Do you want to know about this chocolate or not?
Not particularly. I just want to know
I've got to tell you this, because that woman was saying earlier about licking chocolate.
Yeah.
Well, I bought some of that body paint chocolate, yeah?
Yes.
It was really embarrassing, because when you get home and you sort of take the top off and you're thinking, we'll have a go at this, it stays on the back. Get a saucepan of simmering water. Put it in the pot for 2 minutes. And let it heat up. Well, that's a bit unromantic to start with anyway. You've got to wait for it to soften before you put it on your body. And then it says put it in the microwave. But if you put it in the microwave and you put it on your body, it carries on cooking.
I agree. Grand Marnier is better.
Is it? Well, what's that like then? Have you tried it?
Yeah,
And what's it taste like on the skin? Because it obviously tastes different on skin.
it does, but it still bears a lot of resemblance to Grand Marnier.
And it depends how much you drink, obviously.
Yes.
How much you lick.
Warm it first.
Warm it slightly.
Yes.
Nice and tepid.
You can buy a little thing. It's sort of a silver dish, and you set a nightlight candle underneath it. And that's the best way.
Yeah, you got to get it on pretty quick, though.
I'm pulling rank here, you see, because you pushed your luck, didn't you?
Why?
You came on and suggested that all somebody could do is a missionary once every 6 weeks, and that's Bob's your uncle.
Who said that?
Well, you implied it.
No, I didn't.
You certainly did. As I live and breathe.
I did not.
Oh, you what?
I did not.
Is a pair of handcuffs the most adventurous thing you've ever been in to buy?
Oh, no.
What have you bought then?
Well, I can't say on the air,
You
can
damn well can, and
no,
you must.
I can't.
Oh,
But
come round
you
and
can get anything from Ann Summers now.
come round dressed like that if you're not careful. Now, come on, what is?
You come round dressed like something then.
Oh,
Go on, you come round to me, and you come round with some of your own ideas.
How can you comfortably, in the flesh, you being you, march up to the till in a shop with something draped over your arm that obviously wouldn't get anything other than an 18 certificate in a movie, and pay for it, and look them in the eye, and not give a hoot, and not, with the total cloak of anonymity that radio offers, just casually tell me what it was?
Why not?
Well, tell me what it was.
Oh, I can't tell you what it was.
Well, why not?
No,
Why?
I can't tell you what it was.
Why?
Because there's probably a young child somewhere listening in.
That's the most feeble, ludicrous passing of responsibility. Don't you realise how emotionally crippled you are?
Ah, you're only coming out with all this because you're over the hill. You're getting past it. You've got another 5 years in which to get your bits to going. And then I'm going to drop off and you ain't going to have nothing else to play with.
I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve that. As the standard bearer, or possibly even the trumpeter of this crusade for human honesty, honesty not just between ourselves, but honesty with ourselves, I do think she was aiming for my horse. Pete calls from Bristol, and we'll speak to him after Roy, who's in feet. Why don't people want to talk about bottoms? You can't beat a derriere. A derriere. All of nature, all of mankind, all the romantics, all the poets. They know that the heart of love is in the derriere and not the foot. The feet, they can be pretty. Caroline calls from Kent.
Hello there, Tommy. Yes, I wanted to phone up and stick up for feet, really.
Feet?
Yes. Well, I work as a reflexologist, so I spend a lot of time caressing people's feet.
Wouldn't you rather caress the derriere?
I don't think it'll be so interesting. You can tell so much from looking at people's feet. Perhaps I should come up and caress your feet.
Perhaps I should caress your bottom, for goodness sake. I know what you're saying with reflexology. As a reflexologist myself, I can only confirm whatever you would tell us about the power of the zubos in the sole of the foot. You're quite right.
And I think it would be nice if everybody gave it a chance and just with a partner caressed each other's feet.
No.
And had soft music.
No.
And just enjoyed it.
No, because after reflexology, you want to fall asleep.
Well, that's true.
Isn't it?
That's true, but unless you end it with a very vigorous massage and then you're full of energy.
Two things. One, it's got a bad name.
What, feet or reflexology?
Reflexology.
Do you feel that?
Yes.
Why do you feel that?
Well, because it's got an X in it, and that makes it sound medical. and when you think of reflex, you think of you
think of your knee.
Crossing your knee and somebody hitting you with a hammer.
Right. Well, that's for you to put right.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
You have, for example, shiatsu.
Right.
Which is a beautiful word.
It is.
For the sort of finger version of acupuncture.
Right.
And you have acupuncture, which is a very bad word.
It does sound a bit painful.
It's appalling, isn't it? Puncture?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Hello. Would you like to be punctured? And the same goes for reflexology.
Well, I think once you've had reflexology treatment, though, it doesn't sound so bad.
It does. It always sounds like a bad word to me.
Well, let's tell everybody, though, it's beautiful.
Some words are beautiful for beautiful things, and other words are
ugly for beautiful things, and reflexology is one. But it ain't romantic, is it, pal? Be honest.
Oh, it can be.
Be
It has
honest.
beautiful music.
No, sir.
Well, I think it can be.
Not in a million years.
You're not selling it now, are you?
There's too much pressing and
No.
squeeze and pinching.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I disagree. Well, I haven't given you a treatment, so you obviously do that for other people.
There's
but
nothing tickly.
No. It can be very, very gentle.
Tickly, palm of hand on downy hair on flesh, on reflexology, is there?
There can be. It's changing. There are many different forms of reflexology, and one of them can be with a harder pressure, and one can be very light. There's a very soft form of reflexology, which is a very light touch, which is more emotional. You obviously haven't tried that one.
No, not yet, but I look forward.
Okay, but try and get everybody to caress each other's feet very gently with soft music if they try it, and then they'll see. So there.
Thank you for your call.
Okay, good night.
Good night. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Mary's on the line from Cornwall. You're on Talk Radio. Mary, good afternoon.
Hi, Tommy.
Hello.
I just wanted to say, I think it's very good that you're actually talking about bottoms.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a huge bottom,
Marvellous.
and I love it, and my husband loves it.
He does.
He does, and lots of people love it. And in fact, when I do go on the occasional diet and lose weight, you know, it never moves from the bottom. And I meet people I haven't seen for ages, and they say, "Isn't it wonderful? You've still got that big bottom."
Yes.
And so I just thought it's really good that Tommy's talking about bottoms. So I'd ring up and say how proud I was of my big bottom.
I'm glad. I'll tell you what's just popped into my mind. Mooning.
Yes, I've done that before.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
When was the last time you mooned?
2 years ago after an Ann Summers party.
Marvellous.
Wonderful.
Who did you moon?
All my guests as they left.
Wonderful.
It was brilliant.
Fantastic.
Got the neighbourhood talking. Loved it.
Yes.
It was brilliant. Anyway, I'll let you get on with it, Tommy.
You're very kind, except...
Yeah?
Since we're talking about it, the last person I mooned was a talk radio host.
How did that go down?
Well, very well.
Did he love it, or did
It
she
wasn't
love
a
it?
he, it was a she.
She. Oh, and she loved it.
I wouldn't say loved it, but certainly was unshocked.
Yeah.
And I did it because there was a good reason.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just moon anybody. In fact, I've only mooned about 3 or 4 times in my life, which I think is a waste, really. It's a loss.
Well, yeah, I mean, why not just show them off?
Oh, that's a good idea.
I mean, why should they... I personally, like, they had that fashion, didn't they, not so long ago?
I'm just going to moon my staff this evening.
I bet they love it. I tell you what, can you get one of them to take a picture?
No, don't. I don't want to see. Oh, please.
Well, I believe in honest radio, and
It's
not hairy.
I saw hair.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, I like a hairy bum.
Hasn't seen the sun, though.
Okay.
Well, that's a sight you can take to bed with you tonight.
Don't expect me to moon back.
Why not? You got to keep the side, you know.
No, I'm very insecure about my behind. It's staying tucked away.
Oh, boring.
Boring.
Yeah, I'm boring.
Too short. You got to just take every opportunity that's there.
Boring.
Yeah, I'm boring.
Oh, too many boring people in the world, Tommy. We got to get them going.
But it was Lorraine Kelly anyway.
Was it?
Yes.
Well,
because-
mind you, she sounds like she's a really nice sort of girl, and I reckon I could imagine her giggling, actually.
She does.
A lot.
She was very good about it. She understood, you see, because there's this furore going on about whether the bottom in the advertisement for Lorraine Kelly's show is hers or not.
Well, I don't know. Do you think it could be? I don't know.
I'm not going to comment, actually. I'm not going to comment. I'm simply going to let the...
On the basis that you might incriminate yourself.
I'm just going to... No, because I think it's interesting, really, just to let the debate continue. If you see the advertisement for Lorraine Kelly's show, you will see a naked bottom. And your question for, your starter for 10 has to be, is it hers, or has she got a...
Body double.
A bottom double.
I don't know. I don't
Because
know. I don't
people
think she's the sort of girl that would have a bottom double, though. Because she sort of strikes me as being one of these, she's just, like, quite honest. And she is what she is, and to hell with everybody else, and she's proud of what she is. Do you know what I mean?
I do. And I'm grateful for your call. Life. Mm-hmm.
But if you can't join in with that, if you want to sing It's Not Unusual, oh, why not? Sharon calls from Brixton. Sharon, you're on Talk Radio. Hello.
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 You all right? What happened there?
Administration. Yes. Wankers.
Right, it's just... I'm still there. We're still here, darling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't me.
No, whatever.
No, listen, I want to say something.
Well, who was it then?
Okay, can you listen to me?
No, answer me who that was.
What? Who that was?
Yes.
It was my surrogate baby.
Yes. No, I'm going to let this go. I'm not bothered.
Pardon?
Elsewhere, they'd be pressing buttons right, left and centre, but I'm not bothered.
No.
How long have you been waiting to come on the air with this?
Oh, I just rang about 2 minutes ago. Don't worry.
Feeble nonsense.
No, I think you're a feeble bastard.
Are you drunk?
No.
Are there children in the house?
No.
Well, I should hope not.
Why? What's wrong? Why? What are you talking about?
Because you're incompetent. You're incompetent. Hello?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, why?
Because you're incapable of being amusing. Or intelligent.
Okay.
How old are you? Come on, it's not exactly a trick question, is it?
Oh.
Oh?
No, what?
How many years have we had to put up with you on this planet?
28.
28. And what good are you?
A lot.
To whom?
To everyone around.
In what way?
Well, I'm just the best, really.
At what?
At everything.
Such as?
Such as skiing.
Skiing? You're good at skiing?
No.
Are you going to work in the morning?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm a postman.
You're a postman? Oh, it's a shame, really, but I don't think we're really get anywhere with you, are we? No, I don't mind. I've got a mental image of this sort of house with crimson painted walls because you thought it would be funny.
No.
And I can see the ashtrays piled high on the coffee table.
No, they're green.
Yes.
No.
No?
No.
Where have you been tonight?
Where have I been?
Yes.
I've been to, hold on, please.
Yes.
Yeah. He's still there.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you why. Shall I tell you why?
Uh-oh, why?
Because I'm going to win.
What?
Because I'm going to win.
Win what?
Win it against you.
Win what against me?
The battle.
What? What?
The fight.
What fight?
The fight you started. Yeah, the fight you started.
Oh, no. What fight? I don't like violence.
Well, you shouldn't have started it then, should you?
What violence? What's going on?
What's going on?
No.
Go on, clear off.
No, because, look, my mother wants to speak to you.
But you haven't got a mother.
I have.
You haven't got a mother.
What did you say to me?
You haven't got a mother.
Well, then how the hell did I get from the earth?
Oh, some scientist.
Your mother's gone. Bye.
Yeah, you see. There's never lost one. Never lost. Not even risked a draw. Not even away from home. It wasn't a lot, was it? You know, the scientist remark. It wasn't a lot. But it was good enough. She knew she was playing with fire. Come on, then. Come on. You've been to a rave. I don't care. Come on. Come at me. I'm not bothered. I love it. You don't stand an earthly. Not an earthly. You don't?
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.